Yes.
Well, one thing he did make that he did keep his word on that in his campaign, because he said to change it. He kept his word there. But my other thing is, I'm wondering, was he ever investigated? How? I mean, nobody. He's not even a nobody knew he's president.
Well, we don't know.
Never found his birth certificate.
Those right now, this central part of the game, that's probably something we ought to wait for history to ferret out. But right now, we have to fight his policies, and we have to fight in such a way that we take control to do that again, and we put the right people in who will fight and remain true on those issues.
Well, like this judge that's coming in, they're putting her through all kinds of questions after questions, just to be a judge. I mean, she's not good enough. She's getting a job. But did they ever question the president beginning?
The people that counted gave him the office. It's American people gave him the office. And the voices are out there telling a lot about him. And people were just
That's why they always say that it's the Tea Party people that are the horrible people. They're just horrible. The bigots, this, that, and everything else. But they're saying all this stuff because they're scared of us. They know that they're in big trouble.
Now, all these people, these names you told us, I never even heard of them.
the media's not going to talk about it. You have to stay up late at night and watch C-SPAN. But if you do, though, you see Ted Poe from Texas. Love Ted Poe.
He's an old judge, he drives a big Jeep, and he talks with a big voice.
And he is an American patriot, conservative. Sam Johnson, the longest serving POW at Hanoi Hilton. And the guy who walks with all of the wounds that he received at hand. Just read his book. It's an amazing book, but he's a true patriot. I've seen him cry speaking on the floor of the U.S. House when Pelosi was pushing through things, pulling away support from our troops. And Joe Wilson, you mentioned him. Joe came in to do an event for me and strongly supports me. Joe was right when he said, you lied. But Joe said, and nobody expected Joe would have ever said that. Because he's a mild-mannered, but true conservative, feisty, but just the sweetest guy you'd ever known. But he held 7 town hall meetings back in his history. From Hilton Head to across the waterway to the poorest parts of this country. And he heard the same thing about this health care. And I think he blurted out something he would normally have done. But he's a true conservative. Member of the Republican Study Committee. Jeb Henserman from Texas. Rock-ribbed conservative. A devotee, he was a former staffer for Jim DeMint. And you all know Jim DeMint and how strong he's remained in the U.S. Senate. You have guys like Mike Pence from Indiana, Tom Price from Atlanta, from Alabama, Georgia. You have Dr. Brown, medical doctor, who just came in halfway through my term, came in a special election. Paul Brown is an unbelievably strong, conservative, Christian patriot and outspoken. I mean, I could have Joe Pitts from Pennsylvania, John Campbell from California. Just name after name people that you don't hear. And this is why I got on Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh. And Sean took the bait when I wrote an article in the event and called him out. And like I said, Sean has done a lot of work in helping you know some of the names, but there are tens of other names of men and women, not many women anymore, except for some new freshmen I don't know. Are solid, and that's the nucleus that I go back to. If we've got 130 that are members of the Republican Study Committee, and I was a member of the Republican Study Committee, we met every Wednesday at 1 o'clock for lunch together. The Heritage Foundation sponsored it. If you know the Heritage Foundation, that's not a flaming liberal group. It's an educated group. And we had to sign statement that I would call it a doctrinal statement of 13 different points of conservatism that we would not violate to be a member of this organization. We also knew that if we began to violate it consistently, we would be asked to leave. We paid significant money to be in this organization to help put on all of these events that are educational for conservatives amongst the members of Congress. Again, the media won't talk about that unless they want to talk about it pejoratively. These are a bunch of Christians, or these are a bunch of right-wingers, or all conservatives. So there's hope. There is hope there.